Good morning. What a beautiful day it is. You can hear all of the very many species of birds that are out here and about at the Livingston Lighthouse on Belle Isle. The sun has risen in the east over Lake St. Clair, and we are at the very eastern tip of Belle Isle. It's a grassy bluff, as you can see. The DNR, Michigan State Parks, has done a beautiful job. The Belle Isle Conservancy has done a beautiful job at preserving this wonderful natural habitat. Today we are going to be shooting some photography at around the lighthouse. The railing creates a very nice compositional foreground. Oh, are you tangled up, sir? I know, you're just minding your business and eating grass. Yes. You're all tangled up there. Okay. We're gonna bring our shutter speed up, allowing us to drop our aperture down to 1.8. Kodak boy. What a good boy. There he is. What a funny boy you are. What a funny, funny boy you are. All right, you want to go on a hike? Let's go on our hike. I know he's been super good and patient, eating grass, as you can see, always eating grass. What are you crunching on? Hey, no, drop that. See, look at this. I'm telling you, pro tip, in real time, friends, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pick up this trash, and then I'm gonna reward the boy for being good. Of course I am. Yes, I am. Right? There you are. Pro tip. Pro tip. Look at that. Look at that. He doesn't even care about that lamb chop bone anymore. Yes, of course, Kodak found this. Kodak finds lamb chop. How fitting. Kodak would find a lamb chop. So back to our story. As you can see, Kodak really will just stop and want to smell every single blade of grass along the way, and he's out here lounging. This is what he does. But it is a beautiful morning on the trail. The birds are chirping. We're just gonna let him do his thing and smell all the grass that he wants to smell. We still are going to take some photos. We're gonna shoot some photos. Multitasking level serious. This trail, as we follow it around, we're merging with a few other trails out here at the Livingston Lighthouse. You can see the bluff. The Coast Guard outpost is there. And again, there's just an amazing amount of birding. You'll see cardinals, blue jays, eagles, falcons, hawks, sparrows, red-winged blackbirds, geese, ducks, swans. We're shooting at f8, and we're getting a really nice shot there. Let's go ahead and take that aperture right down. Take our ISO back down. And then let's bring our shutter speed up, because what that allows us to do by stopping down and getting that macro shot, that's just amazing. Yeah, oh, that's a beautiful shot. The bluff here on the eastern tip of Belle Isle that we're hiking along for the Livingston Lighthouse is gorgeous in the morning, as you can see. Where are you trying to go? He's trying to escape. He's always trying to pull a Houdini. Loving these shots right here with the beach grass. Really is so peaceful to come out here in the mornings. Whether you like to write, think, sit, meditate, do yoga, paddleboard. Belle Isle is an incredible state park that we are fortunate beyond belief. Look at the boy. Do you hear him down there? You see him first-handed. The lighthouse is a little bit further along the trail here. This is what photography is all about. Finding the details in life that thrill you. That is the beauty of the EOS R right there. That is the beauty of Canon color science right there. Previously on a DSLR, I would be looking through the viewfinder, but with the electronic viewfinder with the mirrorless cameras, I am not using the lens as much to focus bugs as I am now focusing using the touchscreen right here on the back of the camera. It's something that I really, really enjoy. As long as we're seeing a lot of bugs, that means that Lake St. Clair is healthy. We're just trying to get a little bit more of the details. Bring the ISO down a little bit, keep the aperture up. There we go, f4.5, we're really getting a beautiful detail. And as you can see the bokeh on that, there is no issues there. Even at 4.5, this lens is gonna have an incredible separation between your subject and your background, which is what you want, because you don't wanna have to rely on a lower aperture in order to get that separation, to get that depth of field. You want to know that you can be able to stop up to f4, f4.5, 5.6, and still be able to create a really, really intriguing composition. Welcome to Detroit. We're going to keep our shutter speed up. I was at 2500. I'm down at 2000 now. We're going to be peeking out in and out of the sun here. As you can see, we're peeking in and out. The sun is still rising above us over Lake St. Clair. This is one of the most enjoyable ways to spend a day on Detroit. Up ahead now, we're getting closer to the lighthouse. I can see the lighthouse through there. And that is just such an incredible composition. It's far away, so you can see it, but you know that you're on the trail. He's back ready for attention. He says, oh, well, we've been here and standing and not moving. We're not going anywhere. And I would really like to continue the journey to the lighthouse, wouldn't you? That's what you want to do, is continue the journey to the lighthouse, because you're a good boy. Yes, you are. Okay, let's go. Let's continue the journey to the lighthouse. As you now know, continuing the journey to the lighthouse, which is there. We're getting closer. You can see it now here in the shoulder cam video. And these wildflowers are also extremely beautiful. That's part of the challenge, right? It keeps you young in the sport, being able to adapt and realize and think, okay, we are here in a shady area. I'm getting this incredibly gorgeous morning light. As a photographer, I'm going to take this moment and enjoy it, because this is why I create photography, is to find these details in everyday setting. Look at how beautiful the tracking is on the EOS R. Again, I want to reframe this for you. I've got the boy down here doing who knows what. Literally just revved to go, ready and raring to get on the trail. And I've got an aperture here at 4.5, shutter speed of 1250, and ISO of 500. But I'm in love with the way that the sun is coming right down over these flowers. You only get to experience these types of beautiful things so many times in life, and I have let moments like this slip by me, knowing full well as a photographer that capturing the simplest details of life, oh my gosh, there are so many reasons why Michigan is one of the most beautiful states, and we are here witnessing it firsthand right now. The sunrise is coming down, showering a beautiful display for us. We're getting closer to the lighthouse. His decision that that's the way that he wants to go, he is going to lean into that for the rest of time. He does not care. His full body weight is going that way. That's the way that he wants to go. Oh yeah, this is what we come here for, to Belle Isle to shoot photography, is to get shots of the lighthouse like this with a low vantage point. And so the grass is really leading right up into the lighthouse. I've got my boy by my side. Baby, you're gonna need a bath. Friends, if you're looking to get a beagle, just know that they are gonna need baths all the time, because they're just gonna roll around. They're gonna find rose bushes and pricklies and fluffies and dirt and ticks. They're gonna find everything that they can find. If there's something to find, he's gonna find it. He's gonna wanna find it. My aperture, I'm at 5. And what I'm really looking to do is just try to find the twinkle, find the twinkle, and I'm not doing too many vertical shots. So let's just do a couple vertical shots. I do love vertical shots, and the majority of media that we are consuming is vertical. So it really makes sense to do more vertical shots. But again, I'm in this, swallow the bug. You're gonna swallow a lot of bugs when you're out here in nature. Wow. Oh, this is a beautiful composition. Look at how we're getting just an amazing morning light that is shining right through that pocket on the eastern tip of Belle Isle, bouncing right off the reflection of the lighthouse back there. There are birds flying by. This is the lighting scenario really as a photographer that you're looking for, is those sunrises and those sunsets. This is really when you're gonna find that great lighting. As you can see, I'm trying to multitask here, as you know. When I say multitask, what I mean is shoot photography and manage the boy, because he's down here, again, you already know the story. He's down here just looking through random stuff, digging around, smelling every blade of grass, and he is just gonna continue doing what he wants to do. See, look, he would wander off. He would, if I was not actively paying attention to this young man, he would just wander off, and he really wouldn't care. Michigan is home to more lighthouses than any of the other states in America, and the Livingston Lighthouse here on the eastern bluff of Belle Isle is the only marble lighthouse that is on the Great Lakes. I'm not seeking to perfect photography, I'm seeking to practice photography. Got an aperture of 6.3, shutter speed at 5,000, ISO of 1,000, hunter boy by my feet as always. And that's the way that you really have to approach photography, is wear the clothes that you're okay getting sweaty in, that you're okay getting dirty, because realistically that's what's going to be happening, is you're going to be sweating a lot and you're going to be getting dirty. You can see the shadow line here, birds that are flying by. This really is just a wonderful shooting location. F5, I'm waiting for some birds to kind of fly across. I've got my shutter speed up at 5,000, so I know that if birds fly across, I'm going to be able to get that wingspan that I'm really looking for. Wildfires that are coming down from Canada as well as from northern Michigan, they are creating this haze in the sky. You can smell it, you can see it. It really is very much like being, you know, out west in many ways. There's a red-winged blackbird, right? Okay. And let's see, did we get it? There it is. Yep, you can see that red-winged blackbird right here. And that's cool, you know, because you're not gonna see an eagle every shot. You're not gonna see a hawk every shot. You're not gonna see a falcon every shot. Even though these birds do exist in this ecosystem and habitat, a lot of times they're nesting and you will see them out hunting. We couldn't get better lighting. How does that look? Oh, that's just a really interesting composition. Again, we're at f5.6 with a shutter speed of 500 and an ISO of 100. We're getting this beautiful light. I'm just gonna be taking you on this journey through state parks, national parks. We're gonna be spending a lot of time here on Belle Isle in Detroit. Hobbles and I are out enjoying our morning hike and sharing our passion of photography with you here on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever channel that we're tapped in and connected to together. You're gonna be able to see this content. If you enjoy the content, please subscribe. Go ahead and give me a follow. Just gonna get that lighthouse lined up really nice there. Wow. That's a beautiful image. EOS R 35 millimeter, we're shooting at f14, shutter speed of 125, ISO 250. Again, we can see the sunlight is just coming in perfect on the lighthouse here. We're seeing all the birds and we're just getting this amazing shadow cast on us right here. Really, for a lighthouse, a lot of times I'm gonna wanna shoot that wider, whether it be 14 millimeter or 16 millimeter, 24 millimeter. 35 produce the results of a lighthouse in the full frame while still being respectively close to it. So again, I would recommend a 14 millimeter, a 16 millimeter, a 24 millimeter, even a 28 millimeter. Any of those are gonna make the lighthouse just a little bit smaller in the frame. You're really maxing out the frame that you get there at 35 millimeter, but that's okay. That's okay because I love the 35 millimeter 1.8 because again, we're shooting at an aperture of f14 right now with a shutter speed of 125. The lighthouse isn't really moving anywhere fast with an ISO of 250. We've got this incredible sunlight and shadow casting on the lighthouse. I've got my boy down here. We're gonna be doing different things throughout this channel. At certain times I'm gonna be recording video clips for you. At certain times I'm gonna be capturing photography for you. What are you down there doing? But right now, we're just focusing on the 35 millimeter for today. And these shots are coming out gorgeous. I'm loving the perspective of them. You don't always need to stop down your aperture. In fact, your aperture should be reserved for times where you're really looking to pull that depth of field out of the frame. And then for times where you're really looking for a full landscape shot, that you can just bump that thing right up to 14 or 16 and have fun with it. But look at this, we're still at f14 right now. Once you really get your vantage point down right and you're able to get all of those horizontals lined up really nice and interesting, that makes for an extremely fun shot that I like. I'm still shooting again at f14. You're getting a really nice separation of the lighthouse with the iron gate. You're still able to see that it is the iron gate. It's not so washed out that you have no idea. So even at f14, when your subject is back there, you're gonna get a lot of separation. The aperture on this 35 millimeter 1.8 is a true beauty, and it's something like this where I can come out here in essentially a field in the morning. It could be dewy out here, rainy, cold, windy. It could be any number of circumstances, and I'm not going to tell you that this lens is weather sealed because it's not, but what I am going to say is that it is a truly beautiful lens, and this is not a beginner's lens. This is a lens for professionals. I believe that the 35 millimeter 1.8 macro lens is a professional lens that does deserve a seat at the table with any L series lens. So don't look at this and think, oh, this is an STM lens, even though it's a prime for and being able to explore new options with your photography, because you can leave a 35mm lens on your camera all day. I'm convinced of that. This is a great shot. I'm loving the vines. You can still see the lighthouse there. The iron, you're getting an extremely cool building vantage point from left to right with the lighthouse behind. I'm stopping up to f22, right? See, this is a certain scenario where you can really stop that thing up. And then I'll put the ISO at 640 because my goal here is to get, look at him back there. See, that's really what I'm going for right now. What I'm doing is getting the lighthouse, because that marble is so beautiful. You got to showcase that marble. You don't want to have so much separation if you're focusing on the gate and the foliage that you're missing the actual star of the show back here. And when I say the star of the show, I mean him, the guy who's just in his own zone, kind of like on his own vibe.